Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be covering my updated September budget. Now, my previous video I showed you guys what my September budget should look like, but because there were so many surprise expenses, I'm already over budget, so I thought why not update you guys on what my budget now looks like, as this could be helpful for everyone else who's watching. The way that I structure my budget is like this. I'll get my paycheck and then I'll always make sure to pay off my bills and expenses first, moving down to savings, and then the last part would be miscellaneous, which I will explain a little bit later. This month was very different because I had a lot of negatives from the previous month due to my partner's birthday and all the expenses relating to that. That meant that I took less money home this month than the previous months. So we're gonna go over what my budget currently looks like. I actually use YNAB to budget, but this spreadsheet is gonna give you guys a better visualization as to what my budget currently looks like. My net take-home pay for my salary job as an English teacher here in Korea is 2,308,820 Korean won. There was also a rollover from the previous month, so I had an extra 10,000 Korean won to work with. All the other numbers that you see below that are all negative because I overspent in those budget categories. So all in all, I only had 2,039,029 Korean won to work with for this month, and you'll see that I'm actually over budget for certain areas. So we're gonna go over my bills and expenses first. So the first thing that I always make sure to put money aside for is going to be my bills. That includes my lunch, my phone, my iCloud, my coupon, and my Netflix. It's already September 12th as I'm filming this, and only Netflix has come out. Everything else usually comes out in mid-month or closer to the end of the month, so you'll see that these numbers are still at zero. But overall, my total for bills is 151,390 Korean won that I have budgeted for. So for expenses, this includes family expenses, education, spending, and transportation. So for family expenses, this includes things like our groceries, utilities, pet supplies, things like that. And I'm always going to be putting aside 1,000,000 Korean won for that. If we don't use the entire budget, then the remaining money goes into our savings accounts. Education, I do take vocal lessons, so I put aside 100,000 Korean for that. For spending, it was originally 300,000, but I can only spend up to 225,000 this month, and as you can see, I'm already really close to being over budget. My coworker had a wedding, so I had to give her money for that. Our office does share expenses when it comes to like the snacks that we have in our office, and it's one of those things where you can't say no, so I had to give money for that as well. And a few other surprise expenses came up where I had to use bits and pieces of my spending budget. So right now I have like not even 30,000 Korean won left to spend. I am going to be seeing a friend tomorrow for lunch, and I'm sure that's going to really eat away at my budget as well. And because we are not even at mid-September yet, I don't think I will be able to stay within this budget because I'm sure there are going to be more expenses that comes up as well. For transportation, I originally budgeted for 0, but because I need to buy train tickets to see my friend tomorrow, I have overspent 17,600 Korean won already under transportation. So my favorite part of my budget has to be the savings part because I just love being able to save money, and sometimes if I have residual money, I'll be able to use that money to invest. But for this month, there is no investments made. So starting from the top, we have Hana, and that is just a savings account that I have 150,000 Korean won automatically taken out every time I get paid. The second one has to be investment, so it's currently at 0. Vacation, we are going to go on a trip in October, so I put aside 100,000 for that. For medical, I've started to realize that I have a few kinks going on with my body, and so I've been needing to go to either the internal medicine clinic or the traditional oriental medicine doctor a lot more often. So just in case, I'm putting aside 100,000 Korean won for that. I am considering getting additional insurance, but that's something that I have to talk to my partner about. But he's currently on a business trip right now, so that conversation will have to happen a little bit later. But additional insurance is something that I think I need to get, especially if I'm seeing like all these doctors in such a short amount of time. Moving on to gym membership, I forgot that I needed to save up for this. My gym membership that I paid for this current year, I think it was a little bit over 600,000 Korean won for the entire year. I also pay to be able to use their gym clothing as well as their lockers. And so I'm not really sure what the total would be because every year it changes, but I'm anticipating for it to be at least 600,000. So for this month and moving forward, I'm planning to save 175,000 as part of my gym membership sticking funds. Originally, I had a budget for Christmas, birthdays, and hobbies, but because I do not have any more money to budget for this, they're all at zero. The next part would be miscellaneous. So normally I would put money away for my credit card annual fees, which I've done, and it's a total of 23,904 Korean won. And the other thing that I have is stuff that I forgot, which is basically like buffer money for expenses or surprise expenses that I forgot to budget for. The other thing that I have is my YNAB subscription. Now, YNAB, if you already use it, you know that it's very expensive. Even though it has been very important for my financial journey, it has been super helpful. I'm just not a big fan of the big price tag, especially because it is in USD and I'm paying with it using my Canadian credit card. It's been very expensive, and although it has gotten me to the place where I am now at in my financial journey, I am very wary of spending over $150 just on a YNAB subscription. Like, I have saved a lot of money thanks to this app, but I don't want to spend $150 on this app, if you know what I mean. So right now, I don't really have a budget for miscellaneous for now because I don't have any residual funds. So looking at my spreadsheet, I currently only have 163,073 Korean won left to spend. But that's actually just because that's money that I'm putting aside for when my bills and expenses are going to be taken out of my account. My total expenses is 1,875,956 Korean won. And I have an extra of 13,735. Now this money I'm not going to be touching until at the end of the month, where I can put it to where I overspent my budget, or I can just roll over it to the next month. I haven't completely decided yet. And even though YNAB does have us follow a zero-based budget, sometimes I do need that buffer or extra money to be left alone in case there are more surprise expenses. So that's basically what I have for my current spending in September. Overall, based on what I can see from my budget, is that I'll be definitely overspending on my spending and my transportation budget. I think I need to be more cognizant of like my sticking funds, especially for fees that are coming out at the end of the year, especially September. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more smarter than that as well. I also need to keep in mind of the credit card fee that I currently have, because I did get approved for another credit card to be used for our groceries, and that does also come with a 20,000 Korean won annual fee. It is the coupon wow card, if you're familiar with that. So I'm planning to save money on our groceries, but I still have to be cognizant of the annual fee, even though it's not that big, but I still need to incorporate that into my budget. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that some of my goals for the Great Lockdown, if you guys have heard of it, is that for the next 4 months before the end of the year, I'm gonna be trying to not spend money from Mondays to Fridays. I have been really good with that so far. So I have been really tempted to buy coffee today. It's only Friday today, but I was super good in maintaining my no spend rule for the weekdays, and that has really helped me to curb like impulsive spending and things like that. I'm wondering if you guys would be curious to see what my net worth is here in Korea. If you're interested, please let me know in the comment section below. But thank you so much for following along with me in my budgeting and financial journey. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.